welcome back to Fire Princess Reviews. I'm Fire Princess Lily here to tell you about comics, cartoons, and other awesome nerd things. So it's another episode review. We're reviewing That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, episode titled The Gathering. Now, as always, if you haven't seen the episode before today, which it's been a little bit because I've been busy, go watch it. Go watch it, come back. Watch the entire series if you haven't even started doing that up to this point, and then come back. We do reviews about them every week, so long as it's showing, which means for a little while longer it's going to keep happening. So yeah, that is totally it. The reason I tell you to go view it first is because spoilers just happen on this channel. It's a little thing I do all the time. My mouth is just really bad about not giving out spoilers. Also, to talk about the episodes in particular, kind of have to, right? So we go over everything that happened in the episode if you haven't been here before, and then we talk about the things we liked, the things that we didn't like, that sort of thing, what we're looking forward in the coming episodes. With that said, let's get to it right now. So the Gathering, it opens up, of course, with Milim, right? We're back with Milim, but we've fixed a problem, more or less, that I talked about in the last episode, that is mainly Milim's outfit, no longer in whatever that is, that look, and I want to say, honestly, for the most part, she doesn't wear that first outfit again in the manga for quite some time. She does change back into it for reasons, but for the most part, Rimuru and company have made her more appropriate clothing for her body type, thank goodness, and it's super cute. Like, it is top cuteness, and it clashes perfectly with her personality, so it works really good. So Milim's just hanging out with Shuna and Shion, just talking a little bit, and then we kind of cut over to Rimuru doing something with Vesta, Kajin, and Gabiru. They're talking about potion creation. Rimuru's potions that he makes is 99% herb extract from the healing herb, whereas dwarves so far have only been able to do 98% extract, and that 1% apparently makes all the difference. Rimuru's potions could almost resurrect somebody from death. So that's a problem. Like, apparently 98% extract is just a high potion and not a full potion like Rimuru creates. But Vesta, being a genius, manages to come up with that 1% barrier, making it 99% extract. It's amazing. So now they're able to mass produce these full potions. Rimuru wants to make this a business. He's like, yeah, let's start selling them, bring in money for our country. Let's do capitalism, which is, you know, however you feel about capitalism, you know, that's all on you. So they're like, well, we could, but not really a great idea because they would be super expensive, and these aren't the kind of potions that you would just use for everyday wounds. They're really more for, like, you know, life or death situations, and only really for high adventurers. Like, what we could do is what the Dwarf Kingdom already does, and that is dilute them so that they're more or less not as strong, and we can turn them quickly for a profit. In fact, we'll talk to the Dwarf King and make this the production place for the Dwarf Kingdom and have commerce that way. And Rimu's like, yeah, that makes sense. That's good. And so him and Rigu, no. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So him and Kajin, like, you know, walk out of the cave, you know, after the successful potion meeting, and there's an explosion in the distance in Tempest. So Rimuru gets up, he flies over there, and he gets there, and Rigurd's there, and he's, like, down on the ground, he's like, oh, breathing hard, and he looks up, and, like, half his face is missing. And so Rimuru heals that up real quick. He's like, that's serious. Boom. Milim is looking super jazzed with herself because over behind her is a guy named Phobio. Phobio is a messenger sent by Carrion, one of the demon lords. He's the Beast King, Like, and he has a really interesting story, so I can't wait for the show to actually get into that. The pace of the show's kind of getting weird. Like, we are just, like, full speed ahead on to something, because they cover quite a few chapters, it feels like, in this one episode. So that is really interesting for them to do. Anyway, so Phobio's like on the ground, he's foaming at the mouth because he showed up, of course, to say like, hey, nice town you got here. Should really be ruled by our demon lord Carrion. And Rigger's like, you are kidding. And that's what gets him punched in the face. But Milam sees it, and she takes exception to that attack on one of her bestie's subordinates. So she like lets him just fucking have it, of course. And, well, he doesn't come out for better of it. Now, Milam's pleased as punch with herself, because she's like, I defended one of my bestie subordinates, and, you know, I didn't destroy the town, and blah, blah. These are all thoughts that are kind of playing in her head. And Rimuru was looking at her like, oh no, she wants me to compliment her for this. But she possibly just put us into a political problem, so I can't say, good job, Milam, because that would encourage this kind of behavior. So he's like, look, didn't you say you wouldn't cause problems without my approval? She's like, but he's not from here. He's totally safe. Safe. He doesn't count. And he's like, well, you were protecting Rigger, so instead of like skipping all your meals, you'll only miss out on lunch. Now, this leads to possibly one of the funniest parts of the episode, if not the funniest part, is Milam just like stomps out of the guy like, this is too mean, this is unfair, and it's all your fault. She picks up Phobia, and she's ready to let him have it, and then Riru's like, wait, never mind. So she gets lunch, and Riru talks over with Phobia about Lord Carrion. He's still super rude to Rimuru the entire time, because of course Rimuru is a slime, and he doesn't take the slime seriously, because slimes are supposed to be lowly monsters, of course. Milam is like giving him super stink eye the whole time, mostly because Carrion broke the promise to not interfere with her plans. Basically, all the demon lords said, yeah, we're not gonna deal with, get mixed up with anybody else's plans for whatever's going on in the forest. And Milam made her claim well known early on, right after. So she takes exception. Rimuru sends Phobia away. Phobia kind of looks back at Milam like, I'm going to make you pay for this. Like, dumb dude. Right, of course. So we cut over to a new group of humans. Now, they kind of changed the backstory a little bit, or they didn't give like the full description. Like I said, they're kind of like speeding us along to something. This is why I feel like there's like multiple chapters squished into one episode. And while it still works, it is like a little fast-paced. They need to kind of pick a pace and stick with it, but we'll see how it goes. I forget this man's name. It starts with an F, but he's basically leading a group of soldiers. Now, these soldiers were all criminals except for one guy, the guy with glasses. I forget his name. He's more or less the somebody who answers to the leader of whatever nation they're from. It's not Balmond, it's the other ones. I can't remember. And that guy hired all these criminals because he's like, oh, we gotta deal with the Orc Lord. This isn't good. Actually, I totally forgot. The episode actually started out with Fuse and the advisor to the king of Balmond talking about Rimuru defeating the Orc Lord. And this is why these two groups fuse, and there are three friends from the first episode who were with Rimuru's love interest, who he had to eat. Shion. Yep. I've totally messed up her name. It's okay. You know who I'm talking about. He has her mask now. Anyway, he, Fuse, the guild master, and those three go off to meet Rimuru, of course. They all meet up in the forest because the people from the other kingdom, the criminals, were basically like, okay, somebody needs to defeat the Orc Lord, or at least go fight it for us, and destroy it before it actually becomes a problem. These guys are totally expendable, so he basically places a spell on them, or has the wizard place a spell on them, that they are like bound to this one guy, the guy with glasses, whose name I can't remember. And he's like, here, you're their caretaker. And so they go out to do whatever, but the leader, I forget his name, it's not Cavill. Cavill's the other guy. But he's like, look, this is bullshit, and I'm not about to fight a dumbass Orc Lord, so you can either come with us, me and my guys, we're good guys, or just criminal. We just happened to have had criminal past, and, we'll be cool. We'll be cool. Just come with us. And he's like, yeah, I don't like working for that anyway. So he's like a natural leader, more or less. Anyway, they're marching through the forest. They run into our other 4 humans, Fuse, and our 3 gangs being chased by a night spider. And everybody's getting prepared to fight a really hard monster battle when Gobta and the Goblin Rider show up. And Gobta makes quick work of the spider, because he's a prodigy. Anyway, so they all get back to Tempest, have like a giant hot pot party using the spider, and they go and meet with Rimuru, and Rimuru's like, cool, good to meet you. I'm a good slime, I just want to like be friends with humans, make trade. And Fuse is like, really? Is that what you want to do? And he's like, yeah, I totally have made friends with the dwarves already. I'm like, totally cool. Meanwhile, this other guy, whose name, it escapes me, and I feel really bad for it, because he's actually kind of an important character, and it's just not going to come to me, I'm sorry. He's like, why are we even talking to a slime, in which he it, boom, right on top of his head. It's so good. From Shion, the best girl in the show, in my opinion. I really love her, I just love how much she really cares for Rimuru. Anyway, not important. That's not an important fact to know. She, hits him with her scabbard, and it nearly kills him. But Rimuru's like, yeah, I made friends with the dwarves. And he's like, that can't be possible. Fuse is like, what? You're not telling the truth. But Vesta walks in, and he's like, yep, it's true. We're totally friends with Rimuru. I'm not, the advisor of the king anymore, because I'm not the former minister, because of reasons. But, yeah, no, he's totally on the level. So Fuse is like, oh, yeah, I'll definitely talk it over with the king of our nation, because, of course, like you said, it would be good for our traders to be able to just, go through here with no problems. And, yeah, this would be totally just a safer route. And Rimuru gets an idea. He's like, does anybody else know that I killed the Orc Lord, at all? And Fuse is like, no, just me, the king, and some other trusted advisors, but nobody knows that you, Rimuru, killed the Orc Lord. So Rimuru gets an idea. He looks over to this other guy whose name I can't remember. I feel really bad about it. But not so bad that I'm not going to make the video. So he's like, hey, want to work for me? Here's the deal. We're going to make you look like champions, like heroes. We're going to give you good gear. This kind of stuff kind of happens in the manga, right? In the anime, he's like, hey, we're just going to enter a good contract. You're going to be the champion that killed the Orc Lord. And just say that I did a nice thing, I helped you out. That way, I look like a friendly monster who helps people rather than another dangerous monster that defeats other monsters. And that way, I can make friends with humans faster. It's actually a really good idea. And he's like, well, let me think about it. And then we cut to a scene where he's staring at Tempest over a hill. Like I said, the pacing on this is weird, because he actually spends a few days in Tempest in the manga, getting to, know the town and understand that the monsters of the town have no ill will against humans and mean him no harm, and that Rimuru is a good slime. Now, they kind of just sort of backflash all that, because I don't know what this breakneck pace is, but he's like, yeah, you're not a bad slime, and I would gladly call you my master. And so they're going to get outfitted with new weapons, get trading from the old Oni, whose name starts with an H. Hadako, I think is his name. I could be wrong. Probably am wrong. And then we cut to a scene of Clayman talking to one of the clown troupe people, the Marionettes Alliance. Her name is not Lapis. That's one of the other ones. Her name is Tyr. That's it. It was really simple, which is why it was hard. And he's like, give me a report. What did you find out? And she's like, well, the other demon lord, Frey, she's not interested in the Jura Forest at all. She's got her own problems. Apparently this horrible monster is about to be resurrected, and that's where she's focusing all her attention. So he's like, cool. Why don't you go find out where that horrible monster is, if it is being resurrected, figure if we can control it in any way, and report back to me. And that's how the episode ends. Now, this monster is a serious deal in the show, or in the manga at the least. And I can't wait for it to appear. It especially appears in a super kind of interesting way, so that'll be fun to see. What is the next video going to be about? Because we're at the end of this one. We're going to talk about My Roommate is a Cat, and add that to our weekly viewing reviews, and then we'll go from there. We'll see what's going on. Until then, I'm Fire Princess Lily. This has been an episode review, and until next time, love comics, love cartoons, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!